Everybody, first of all, I want to bring my good friend, DiGirolamo. He's a nephew of Joseph DiGirolamo. And I'm talking about Gene, I didn't talk about Joe yet. Gene has completed almost 14, 15 terms in the Harrisburg Assembly. Gene, that's it. Great honor. So please come and say a few words.
Thank you, Rana. Good evening, everyone. Good to be with you tonight. Really, good to be with you. Welcome to Bensalem, those of you who have traveled from a long way. So good to see my good friend, John Sabatina, who is now a senator, and give him a round of applause. I served with John for a number of years in the House of Representatives. Now, he went to heaven now because he's a Pennsylvania state senator, and I'm still in purgatory in the House. But anyway, great guy, good friend of mine. Just a couple quick comments. I know you want to hear from the mayor, and I bring this up all the time. Bensalem last year was voted by Money Magazine as being one of the 50 best places to live in the United States of America. The only town and community in Pennsylvania that was so named. And they said much of that was because of our welcoming and friendliness, our diversity, our cultural diversity, our religious diversity, and both me and the mayor are extremely proud to be part of this community. We both lived here our entire life. And I just want to touch on one thing because it really bothers me from my heart. Donald Trump, I do not belong to the Republican Party that Donald Trump belongs to. And the hate and the filth and the garbage that comes out of his mouth, especially recently when he talked about Muslims, that is not the Republican Party that I belong to, and that is not the United States of America that we all live in. There is no place for that here in the United States and no place for that anywhere in the world. So I just want to say thank you for the invitation to be here today. There was a picture on the front of the Philadelphia Inquirer today. I don't know if any of you saw that. It was a picture of members from the Muslim community, and they were holding up signs, and they were saying that Muslims believe in peace and Muslims believe in family, and it was a great picture, and I would encourage you to get a copy of the Philadelphia Inquirer today and look at that picture.
Bensalem schools are one of the best schools. Law enforcement, law and order is really good. People care about each other. This is because we have such a great leader. Mayor, thank you very much, and come over here.
I'm Italian, we hug a lot. When we like people, we hug them. Thank you, Rana, so much. You know, it's certainly an honor to be here tonight. The Consul General and his wife are here in Bensalem. We welcome you. And I hope that you'll return here, and maybe we'll get to New York to say hello sometime if Rana takes me. Maybe Dr. Farouk will take me up, and we can go up to New York. John, welcome. John, good to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
As a senator, I knew him when he was only in the House of Representatives. A great guy.
Hey, Mayor, what's the matter with the House?
Let me touch on something. First, it's an honor to be here with the Pakistani American Society. How important that is that we stay together, we understand each other, as we assimilate into the American system, as all of us did. I'll tell you a quick story, very quickly. My dad came here in 1910, is when my dad came here. My dad was born in 1897, so you know he'd be 118 years old if he were alive. But then my mom, they came here as youngsters, 14 years old, and came and worked in the society to give us what all of you do. Educate your children, discipline, respect, responsibility, and that's all that I see in the Pakistani community. I see that. That's what you want, your families, education, and to be here. Ben Salem, the name Ben Salem speaks for itself. It means city of peace. And that's, to me, the most important thing. I want to govern a community that people working together on a daily basis, not once a year, not once a week, on a daily basis. It's important, the most important thing. Council General asked me what the most important thing going on in Ben Salem. There are a lot of important things, but the most important are the people. You make it, not the mayor, not the representative, not your senator. We try to lead and make good decisions, but the people are the leader. You are the ones that make a community. And we're blessed in Ben Salem, and I mean that sincerely. The most important thing to me is peace. Peace, and we have it in our community. As long as I am mayor, I will not allow anything else but a diverse, a community that cares, and a community that will go forward. And I hope the next time I talk to you, we're #1 in this whole country. We're number 47 now. God bless you. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for inviting me here tonight. It's a big honor for me to be allowed to address you tonight. I'm a new state senator in Northeast Philadelphia. The DiGirolamos are in Ben Salem. They rule Ben Salem, and I'm just south of them in Philadelphia, in Northeast Philadelphia. I took over from Mike Stack. Mike Stack got elected lieutenant governor, and I'm filling a term, his old term, and I run again in April of next year. So being a senator is a new job for me. It's a new experience for me, and I'm trying to do the best I can. So I'm trying to reach out to all the different communities, especially the Pakistani community, because it is an important, a very important community, just because we have to be able to communicate with one another. We have to be able to share our feelings and our experiences, and that's how this country it gets better and better, is to, to direct lines of communication that we can share.
As you hear maybe the national level rhetoric become ugly, become tense, and become something that, that frankly is embarrassing, I know that we will always have more in common as parents, as fellow parents, than we ever will have differences. And that is really why I decided to run as a parent of 2 and soon to be 3 young children. I wanted to be sure that that voice was represented on the Middletown Township Board of Supervisors. So it was an incredibly difficult process, but Dr. Farouk tells me that all the walking door to door was actually great for the baby and great for a healthy pregnancy. So that was my plan. I knocked on almost 3,000 doors in the township of Middletown, trying to get the voices of the voters and understand what was important to those folks. So I do think that although Middletown is just one township in our broader region, it's important for us to reach out across township lines and make sure that this area is one where we understand one another and where there will always be peace and harmony, as the mayor said earlier. So thank you again so incredibly much. I think the engagement of this community has been inspirational. The way that you all band together but also reach out is a model for civil society, and you should really be commended for your efforts. So please, I want to be sure that your voices continue to rise above those that are shouting and that are angry and that I don't care to hear as much anymore. So I want you all to come together and speak as a unit and as a voice so that we make sure that that's included in our political process at every level.
Great.
Our next speaker is Lena Glickman. Lena. So Lena is a Bucks County organizer of Pennsylvania Working Families. Pennsylvania Working Families, very interesting name, right, Lena?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and talk a little bit about what my organization is and ways we might be able to work together. So Pennsylvania Working Families is dedicated to fighting inequality. We live in a society where wealth and political power are concentrated at the top, where wages are stagnant, good jobs are pretty hard to come by these days, but some folks are just getting richer and richer, and we're concerned about that. We want to live in a society where every person, no matter where they're from, what their race, class, gender, sexual orientation, immigration status is, can get a good job, a good education, live in a peaceful community free of violence and poverty. And some of the ways we're working to do that are, as Dr. Farouk mentioned, we're trying to raise the minimum wage. So we know that right now people who are working for $7.25 or really anything less than $10.10 absolutely cannot get by. It's just impossible to make ends meet on that low amount. And we're also working to pass paid sick leave, which is basically the right for folks to care for themselves and their kids when they're sick without having to worry about losing the pay that they truly need. So we know that these are issues of healthy communities and healthy families. People can't really care for their kids. They can't really invest in their futures if they're working so hard just to get by. And we know that these issues have to be on the forefront of the political work that you all are doing and the community work we're doing.
I did just want to say that over the years I've had the opportunity on several occasions to travel to Pakistan. I've always enjoyed my visits. I feel like I've gained important knowledge, not just when I was able to do the visits, but being able to get together with the community back in Bucks County. So appreciate your contacts throughout the year. The invitation certainly to be at the banquet this evening. I do want you to know that the contacts that we have between the community and me in my office has helped me immeasurably to better represent your concerns in our nation's capital. So I just wanted to call to say I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much, and I'm truly honored to have been invited this evening. I'm coming to you today because before us, we are in the middle of an open enrollment period right now, and there still remains a great deal of confusion around the Affordable Care Act, which was passed back in March of 2010. And there are some of the more important aspects of the Affordable Care Act, also called the ACA, which most of us are now enjoying, such as having our children stay on our health care policies until they're 26, no longer being able to have insurance companies discriminate against us because of pre-existing conditions. There have been monetary caps that have been put on health insurance policies so that the number of bankruptcies due to excessive cost of health care has greatly been reduced. When we came to Pennsylvania back in 2013, there were 1.2 million people who were uninsured. We just got numbers just last week from the Department of Health and Human Services, and that number has now been reduced to between 400,000 and 500,000 people. This is exceptionally important because health care insurance is now the law, and there is a penalty for not having health care insurance. In my mind, yes, that is important, and I hate to have anyone have to bear the burden of a penalty. But most importantly, I would like to think that the security it provides with your families and the ability to take care of your families in the best way possible because you can have health care insurance. Dr. Farouk has offered to have people who are interested in enrolling and he will host an event if there are sufficient people, or if there are not, he will give me the names of those who are, and I will contact you and make sure that you are given the assistance that will help you to enroll. Again, I thank you very, very much for allowing me to speak to you tonight, and it was truly my pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Societies, but within US, we have assimilated. We feel proud to be Americans. There is a reason for that this great nation of nations has allowed us. So that was my goal. Number two, we want to show that we stand, all the three tri-state region, in solidarity in promoting peace. We are a peace-loving community. And whether it is in City Hall, Philadelphia, or throughout the nation, we would like all Muslims to stand united. And whenever incident happens, we need to show that peace will prevail. And the third goal was we want to show when an incident happens like in San Bernardino that we want to sympathize with them, that our prayers are with them. And those were the three goals. We ended the rally with the vigil, and we had a tremendous support. The burden lies on us that we are a peace-loving community. We are proud to be part of America. Thank you, and God bless you.
इश्क मेरी जिंदगी, आज़ादी मेरा ईमान है। इश्क मेरी जिंदगी, आज़ादी मेरा ईमान है, और आज़ादी की खातिर मेरा इश्क भी कुर्बान है। राजा अली एजाज साहब, प्लीज कम ऑन।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum ji. There are two things that I'm going back with. Back to New York, that is. Lots of love and 10 extra pounds. That's our weight. Rizwan Malik Sahib, President of Pakistan American Society, Rana Sahib, Dr. Omar Farooq Sahib, and Taqi Kamal Sahib, Social Secretary, Pakistan American Society. At the outset, I would like to echo the sentiments that have been conveyed earlier concerning the San Bernardino incident, mass shooting incident. The government of Pakistan has condemned it, so has, in line with the condemnation, the ambassador of Pakistan in Washington, D.C. has also expressed condemnation of that very horrific incident in which 14 people unfortunately lost their lives. As you all would be knowing, government of Pakistan has extended full cooperation in trying to carry out any investigations should they be needed on our part. So the two governments are working hand in hand, and there should be no reason why the matter should not be taken forward. But more importantly, in this entire process, on 6th of December, President Obama came out with some very strong words, all in favor of American Muslims and their glorious past, their glorious present, and hoping for a glorious future. So we stand in debt to President Obama for his grand words, and we should have no doubt that Muslims living in America, or American Muslims, this is your home, and you are law-abiding citizens, and your children will grow up here under no duress. So please stay firm on this. I made a brief inquiry about Pakistan American Society, and I'm very happy to learn that they extend a helping hand to the community members living in this state. Particularly, their liaison with the law enforcement authorities is very welcome, should there be a need on part for any Pakistani American to help them out. And last but not the least, they're also very forthcoming when it comes to natural calamities back home. I believe you've been mustering money and sending back home in order to aid those who have been affected. So my congratulations to you for this laudable work. Thank you. And I wish you all my best for your future endeavors. There's just two things that I would like to point out here. First, the education. It makes you a very responsible person in this society, in any society for that matter, but particularly here. So a responsible, law-abiding citizen. So education is very important. And second, in my humble view, I think we should make a conscious effort to join the mainstream politics. So this is something for you to think of, but it's something, in my personal opinion, that has not been there for the last 4 or 5 decades, ever since we have started coming to the US and have started growing in numbers. So perhaps you would like to think about this. Allow me again, sir, to thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in person, collectively, over the dinner and afterwards. Thank you so much.
I just want to talk to you about my organization. You guys know that SACUP, South Asian Community Outreach of Pennsylvania. We started last year, and we grew very well. And we have not only one community, so we have a lot of other communities that are joining us. And actually, a lot of other organizations, they are approaching us too. So we decided at this time, we have to change the name of our organization. We don't want to be limited to South Asian, Because whenever you talk to someone and tell them South Asian Community Outreach of Pennsylvania, a lot of people are out there. They will not buy it. So we decided to change the name. And our new name is going to be RECAP, Reaching and Empowering Communities Across Pennsylvania. SECUP is doing 4 things. First thing is the healthcare. So we are trying to do free healthcare for the community anywhere. We're doing it at the church, senior center, wherever, mosque, synagogue. So the next we are doing is education. I think the education is very important for our younger generation. We have a program and we guide our children starting from middle school to high school and guide them to go into different fields, especially medical field. And then the most important is civic engagement. So we are working on that one. We have a lot of communities that are joining us. And we also started a PAC, Political Action Committee, Arise USA PAC. And Jas Chaudhary is secretary for our Political Action Committee. And we think the Political Action Committee is very, very important. That is your power.
Achaji, I have this first question from Dr. Anjum Irfan Sahib. Sir, you have asked, how can you make the process of getting NICOP easier and simpler online? I don't know if you're aware of the new system that is in place, sir. You're not. Sometime back, sir, this used to be a bulky affair where you would need to fill out forms and give us a lot of documents before we would see them in the consulate and then forward them to NADRA. In this process, हम आपको एक रसीद दिया करते थे. ये पहले की बात कर रहा हूँ, सर. उस रसीद का एक नंबर होता था. हम जब एप्लीकेशन लिया करते थे तो साथ ही एप्लीकेंट को बताते थे कि महीना इंतज़ार करें. आपकी दरख्वास्त जो है वो नादरा हेडक्वार्टर्स जाएगी. वो आपकी दरख्वास्त को स्टडी करके आपका स्टेटस ऑनलाइन पेश करेंगे. देन द एप्लीकेंट वाज आस्क्ड आफ्टर अ मंथ कि अपना स्टेटस खुद रीड करें और अगर कोई कमी पेशी है तो प्लीज़ कॉन्टैक्ट द काउंसुलेट टू प्रोवाइड अस द डॉक्यूमेंट्स और सीक गाइडेंस फ्रॉम अस हाउ टू मूव फर्दर इन दिस केस. So this was a very long process. In some cases it would take months on end to get that card. In some very few cases where people had all the requisite documents, no issues with their family trees, so they were able to get the cards. The soonest was about 8 weeks, 2 months. In the light of your question, I think everything stands resolved now. NICOP applications are no longer being treated through paper applications. Now you need to visit the website and you can fill out your application online and send it to NADRA headquarters in totality. अगर आपकी website पे application accept हो जाती है, so we presume that there is nothing wrong with it. Give and take, there's nothing wrong with it. And under ideal circumstances, you can have your card in about a fortnight's time. So that's about 14 days. आपके इल्म में ये बात थी, sir?
I knew some of that. लेकिन अभी exactly I don't know what kind of supporting documents they are still looking for.
Sir, वो तो आप website जब visit करेंगे तो उस पे सवालात हैं. But अगर I can say this कि अगर आपको कोई snag आता है, यहाँ पे we have a few Pakistanis here who have used this online system and have been very successful, sir. So perhaps they can guide you here. And if you still have any problems, I have left my cell number to quite a few. I'll also leave it with you. You're more than welcome to call me directly, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Sir, एक बात जो Philadelphia के residents हैं, please. I would like to address this question to them. I repeat, all those जो Philadelphia में रहते हैं, आप सबकी जो jurisdiction है वो हमारी जो सिफारत है DC में उनके पास है. So for all consular related matters, if your address falls in Philadelphia, you are supposed to go to our embassy in DC. Am I clear, sir? Yes, sir. अच्छा, मैं I beg your pardon. I stand corrected, sir. I stand corrected. Pennsylvania, the state. I beg your pardon. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
सो सॉरी जी। तो पेंसिल्वेनिया जो है सर वो जाएगा DC, वॉशिंगटन DC जाएगा सर। लेकिन इसके अंदर थोड़ी बहुत हम गुंजाइश रखते हैं, बट दिस हैज़ टू बी अंडरस्टूड ऑल्सो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल डेथ केसेस हो जाते हैं जी, एंड आई क्वाइट अंडरस्टैंड कि न्यूयॉर्क जो है वो आपसे 1.5 घंटे के फासले पे है या 2 घंटे के फासले पे है, 1.5 घंटा। सो वी क्वाइट अंडरस्टैंड दिस इज़ एन इमरजेंसी केस। और इसी से रिलेटेड ये दूसरी बात है कि PIA ऑल्सो ऑपरेट्स फ्रॉम न्यूयॉर्क। सो इमरजेंसी केसेस में you are more than welcome to come to New York. We will certainly have an answer for you. ठीक है सर। बट जो नॉर्मल एप्लीकेशंस होती हैं, पासपोर्ट बनाना है, वीज़ा लेना है, you are supposed to go to DC, sir.
Well, I live here in Bucks County. I'm a resident of Bucks County, and there's a lot of Sikh community in this area and in New Jersey. I have never been to Pakistan consular website. I have never been. But I just want to check from you, is there any procedure or any like a section on your website for the Sikhs, how to get visa for Pakistan for visiting their gurdwaras?
जी बिल्कुल। इसके बारे में information pertaining to your question would not be readily available on our website. But you are within right to make an application because you intend going to Pakistan as a pilgrim.
No, my question is, I think you should.
No, sir, if I may mention, you're addressing a question to a sovereign government. What we should do, we know better. So you should not be advising us. We have our own positions to take. I am advising you in my capacity as a Consul General that if you wish to visit Pakistan as a pilgrim, we have a certain procedure for that. You're more than welcome to make an application, sir. We will treat it accordingly. Mrs. Khan Sahaba likhti hain, I'm from India, my husband is from Pakistan. Me and my kids have some problems in getting visa for Pakistan. Okay.
नाम
अच्छा आप हैं
मिसेस यूसुफ।
अच्छा ठीक है, मिसेस खान। अच्छा इसमें जी ये है कि आपके हस्बैंड पाकिस्तान से हैं। All right. He's entitled to a family visa, which is, and I presume that your husband has a US passport.
Yes.
Okay. So he's entitled to a family visa.